Hi everyone, today is Friday, October 26th, and I'm going to show you actually a book that helps to sort of deal with those who are confused about the use of black feminism, the term, and womanism. And I think I'm going to call this video Black Gender Wars and Deconstructing. Something along that line. Now, I'm not going to give free advertising to people who clearly don't do their fucking research. And I'm getting all these comments on a lot of different videos that I do. I get, constructive feedback, and it doesn't have to agree with my position, but all I ask is for people to just come from an informed position. So, anyways, I did a video, and the video, it's really interesting because the video was a presentation of dynamics related to the black community. And this person began to speak about a dynamic in relation to divisiveness in the black community. And one of the positions that this person took was to say that there's an element of educated black women who are creating some kind of division in the black community, and that's just clearly not true. And how I came across this information was, quite frankly, somebody had, actually not, a few people I should say, said, hey, you should watch this video and stuff. I'm like, listen, I got to schedule things in and whatnot. So then somebody said to me, you know what, you got to take a listen to this fool. And I said, okay. And I listened to the video, and I try and listen, to how people present themselves, and I have no idea who this person is, and quite frankly, I'm not going to give anybody free advertising, because if you don't do your research, then clearly, you're part of the problem. And I've been receiving some comments, and I just have to laugh, because I'm just like, you know what, that's just so sad. Because on the other hand, I'm not laughing at people, but the person who is actually exploiting the inability for people to critically think is the person that these individuals are supporting. And every single comment in relation to a position to say, oh, well, you should, look at his stuff or whatever, look at her stuff, or, it doesn't even go back to the problem of divisiveness in the black community. Educated black women, for example, don't consider themselves as, being superior or inferior to others. They just are persons that are interested in progressive movements that actually empower everybody in the black community and other infrastructures, other communities. But in context of sort of dealing with black differential and black poverty and this constant processing of black cadavers, some of us are just like, wait a minute here, like something's not right here, because other ethnic groups don't experience this constant stuff, and we don't see ourselves like that, to say, oh, well, we have children, and our children are going to be up against this, like, we aspire for the best for our children, our friends, our loved ones, even the ones that hate us. We still wish them well. And then the violent ones, well, violence comes in so many different colors, and it's really sad when you get some of ours from our own community that actually mimic the violence that actually lynched them. So there's a complexity around this thing called gender wars, and I can't remember where I got this book, but I can't remember if it was in a university bookstore or a place that I actually visited in the global north, and it was a little store, and it had these spiritual books and all kinds of spirituality that's not related to religion stuff. Very, very progressive, very, very earth-centered, and it's not just earth-centered, but it speaks to so many different contexts. So I found this book, and it's called The Womanist Reader. And what it is, it's actually a collection of positions to integrate something called womanist praxis or womanist position or womanist methodology. Now, womanism and womanist actually came from black feminism. And there's a really good piece in here. It's actually on page 57. Let me see. I don't even know how many pages this is, but anyways, it's called Sisters and Brothers, Black Feminists on Womanism. And it's actually by Patricia Hill Collins. And I'm not going to read this for people because, for example, people have to pull their own sack of potatoes. So I'm just going to read a little excerpt. First of all, the piece talks about this idea around what exactly is the womanist connection to black feminism and sort of the linkage between these two terms. And the person who actually wrote this book, wrote this piece, because this book has a collection of different positions related to womanist and womanism praxis. In this particular piece, it just talks about the connection between sort of this development of interests related to black women's experiences to academic discourse and additional things. So, it talks about, starts on page 57, and it just talks about, for example, the importance of identifying black women's issues. And on page 58, it actually talks about the womanist discourse. And on page 59, it talks about, how Walker begins to, this is Alice Walker, novelist and additional fabulous stuff, talks about connecting and locating black women's experiences as not the same as white women's experiences. And that's what black feminism talks about. So there's a little thing here that I wanted to read to you, a little paragraph. Just a couple sentences. Where is it here? Basically talks about, on page 62, the use of the term black feminism. It says on page 62, about 3/4 down the page, using the term black feminism positions African American women to examine how the particular constellation of issues affecting black women in the United States are part of issues of women's emancipation struggles globally. In the context of feminism as a global political movement for women's rights and emancipation, the patterns of feminist knowledge and politics that African American women encounter in the United States represent but a narrow segment refracted through the dichotomous racial politics of white supremacy in the United States. Then it goes into saying stuff about the use of the term black feminism, why people have, I guess, levels of comfort with the use of black and feminism. But you know what, take a look at this particular piece, and it's got some very good citations or references to pull from. So I just wanted to say, when it comes to stuff related to gender wars and trying to locate a lot of stuff related to how do you actually deal with some of this divisiveness in the black community, we also have to make certain individuals um, very, very accountable to what exactly they're doing in their academic exercise. If someone is putting shit out there and don't even cite their sources, then you know what? That's more than an intellectual infraction related to the development of academic discourse. And in another vein, it's pretty sad to actually see how there's this entire following that doesn't even have the ability to say, wait a minute here, what's going on? But then on the other hand, we read these comments and we say, wow, isn't that interesting? Can you imagine having a conversation with a person that has that ability to not even critically think? Some people don't have the ability, which is sad. And for those, you know, we also get involved in ways to develop that type of I don't even know what to call it because it can be seen in so many different ways. It could be a technical, it could be a form of violence, it could be a form of cruelty. When you actually exploit the misfortune of someone that clearly doesn't know any better. So take a read of that, and I'd like to hear your thoughts about gender wars in the black community. And no, people, I'm not going to apologize, because you know what? All you little things following the Santa Bunny, you know what? Take up a fucking book and read something about black feminism. And you know what? Inform yourself. To some of these goons, visiting and leaving these comments, like, you know what, just whatever. You guys engage with it yourself. But, give yourself at least a year. And, take one class that is a year long about black feminism from the USA perspective. And you know what? You'll see how problematic things are when it comes to exploiting the misfortune of people that don't know any better. So gender wars in the black community, who's actually creating them? It's not black women. And for black men who say, hey, it's these black women, they're, these feminists, black feminists, oh, they're all lesbians and stuff, that's not true, because myself as a heterosexual person and a person who only deals with my own, I have some very serious problems with that statement. And when you hear positions like that, for me, it tells me that clearly that person is maybe stating some kind of opinion, but I just recommend for them to cite their sources and come from an informed position. Thanks for watching, and please do share your comments. Thanks.